What's up, YouTube? Jesse here with Jesse's World, and I just wanted to give you guys a little clue into one of the reasons why in my latest video I told you guys I purchased two new rotors for the front of my car. And I don't know if any of you have seen what happens when you have warped rotors or not, but let's see if I can zoom out here. Okay, so I'm driving along and I'm hitting the brakes, and the steering wheel just kind of shakes back and forth whenever you hit the brakes. So like, I'm gonna hit the brakes now. And you can see that it like vibrates really bad. The only time it doesn't do it is when you hit the brakes hard. So here I am just driving along, and let's just say I needed to slow down a little bit. You can see how the steering wheel just kind of shakes back and forth. And it's pretty violent whenever it does that. So yeah, that's why I bought two new front rotors, because first of all, I know that that's not good for the wheels. And I'm pretty sure I can see signs on the tires where it looks like, you know, that violent shaking back and forth is kind of tearing up the outside edges of the tires. But anyway, I just wanted to take this little snippet to show you guys what it's doing and why I purchased the new rotors. So I'll lead this back into the video where I'm actually replacing the rotors. What is up, my YouTube family? Jesse here with Jesse's World again today with some more car repairs. I do have the replacement parts. They did come in a week and a half ago, but I've been awful busy with life and things going on. I've been working long hours. I think I worked like 15 hours on Friday last week. It's currently Monday. I don't think I've mentioned this in any of my other videos, but about a month and a half ago maybe, my grandfather fell in his front yard and broke his hip and got hurt pretty bad, and has been in the hospital and then rehab, and he's back home now. But me and a lot of my other family members have been trying to help him get life back together for himself and stuff. And so I've been spending a lot of time over there, and yeah, it's basically taken away from the time that I would have to be able to work on my car. So that is what I'm doing today. I changed my oil yesterday and got it all done up and everything. I gotta add a half a quart today because my car takes 5.5 quarts of oil, and they don't sell 5.5 quart jugs of oil at any of the auto parts stores. So I'll be putting a half quart of oil in the car today, and then also the rotors. I'm gonna do the rotors today. I got new brake pads, I got new rotors, and I got caliper slide grease to put on the caliper slides to help prevent them from seizing up on me. And so I'll be working on that here in just a few minutes. All right, so I went through and I got out all of the tools that I think I'm going to need to get the wheel off, the calipers off, and the rotors on and off, whatever. But this is what I got right now. So I got the jack stand, I got the new rotor, got my impact sockets, got my regular socket set, brake clean, the new brake pads, my Chicago Electric impact gun, and that should be just about it, except for maybe a wire wheel or a wire brush of some sort. So I'm gonna get at it. As I'm sure I've probably discussed before in other videos, the socket size for the wheel lugs is a 19 millimeter. I got the front of the car jacked up just a little bit. Alright, so I got the car off the ground. These jack stands put under here. So this is what you don't want after you set your car on your jack stands. Look, the feet are not touching the ground on this side, which doesn't make any sense why it did that, except for maybe because it looks like there's this back foot is in a hole in my driveway, so I may need to move my car backward just a little bit to find a better spot on the driveway. Okay, so I did not move the car back, but I did reposition the jack stand so that all 4 feet are not anywhere in one of the holes that exists underneath of the jack stand on the concrete. I also, before I did it the first time even, I had already put my wheel chocks under here, but for some reason whenever I lifted the car up, it pulled them, I guess it pulled the car forward, and it relieved some of the pressure, so I pushed the wheel chocks back up underneath the wheels a little bit better. So I'm going to try lowering the car back down onto the jack stands and see what happens this time. Alright, so the car is fully resting on both jack stands now. Let's see, is this wheel off the ground even? No, wheel's not off the ground. I think I need to get something to put underneath there to lift that. Okay, so I haven't lowered the car back down yet, but what I did was I got a scrap piece of wood that I had, and that block right there, I cut off, what is it, like a 8-inch section of the wood over there and put it under there so I could lift the car up about 3.5 more inches. But now whenever I lower it down onto the jack stands, the tires should be off the ground and more accessible and easier to get to. The reservoir, it pushed it back and it pushed the fluid back in there, and now it's up above this line. And yeah, so like I said, I'm glad that I did not fill up the reservoir the other day. I think maybe I knew I was going to do this, and so I thought it would be a bad idea to fill it up. Okay, so on to actually installing the brake pads. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure there's no gunk on the metal bracket that the brake pad slides on. So just, spray that stuff down, knock all that off. Wipe it down with a towel if you need to. Same thing for the back side. All right, those are both pretty clean. Okay, so I already got the back brake pad. I already got the squealer set up on it. And what you basically want to look for is that whichever direction that the wheel spins on a daily basis whenever you're driving it, that the squealer pulls away from it so that it can squeal. If you put it on, like if I were to put this on the other side right here, then whenever the wheel would spin, it would just press this into this and it wouldn't make the squealing noise when it needs to. So you want to make sure that whichever direction you put the squealer on is following with the direction. See how it pulls away? The wheel's going to spin this direction to move the car forward. So this is the right way to put this in. And look at that, the brake pad went right on there, no problems. And just grab one of the other ones, and apparently they are all exactly the same. Look at that, went together flawlessly. Slides right in whenever you have the right parts. Everything is clean. Now the piston slides, like I said before, I've got this brake lubricant that I'm going to use. Alright, so when you put it all together, make sure you don't destroy these little rubber bushings on here. Okay, so I'm putting the brake caliper guide pin lubricant on here. Not really much I can do about the fact that that piece of rubber broke off in there. Okay, so on this car, the pin with the extra long section, because if you look here, well, I guess it's not extra long. They're the same size, but this one had a rubber piece at the top. That one goes in the top. This brake lubricant looks a lot like white lithium grease. Alright, again, I do have the ability to use the ratcheting wrenches to tighten this down, but I'm not going to. That should be pretty good right there. No use in doing any more than that. Alright, so again, safety glasses, especially whenever you're spraying brake clean, that stuff gets in your eye, it hurts and it burns and it sucks. So I'm actually done with spraying anything or putting anything on the car right now except for the wheel. So I wanted to just go over everything. All right, so we got the new rotor. This side has the new wheel bearing in it. You got the new brake pads. And then I greased the caliper guides and got that whole thing all done up. So this side should be good to go and ready to get back on the road. I have a little over an hour until I have to go to work. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up shooting videos for this. It's not hard. I'm probably going to cut a lot of the video out. There's probably over an hour worth of video that I've recorded, and it doesn't take that long to do this job. I was missing this or missing that, and it took longer. I had to find this or find that, and that took longer. And so there was a lot of times where the video was just sitting here doing nothing except for waiting on me. But I want to get the wheel put back together and go ahead and prime the brakes a little bit so that I can push the fluid back through the piston and make it to where there's more room for me to do the other side. Then I'm going to do the other side, and then I will have new brake pads and rotors for the first time in I don't even know how long. All right, so just to give you guys an idea, this slide pin has some rusting on here. And so what I'm going to do is I got my Chicago Electric, I don't know, variable speed rotary tool out, and I've got this flapper disc on here. I'm going to use it and I'm going to clean up the slide pin. So if you guys find something like that on your slide guide pins when you take them out, then do try to clean it up so that it doesn't cause problems in the future. All right, so it's about 5 minutes later, and like I said, I took that flapper wheel on the rotary tool and I cleaned all of the rust off of it. You can see it's still got some pitting in there, and that pitting might rust over again, but I'm going to put some of the caliper guide grease on here, lubricant on here, and put it back in and hope that it holds up better this time than it did last time. Okay, so the top guide pin on the passenger side is in even worse shape than the bottom one was. I already started to clean it a little bit right there. See, it's a little shinier right there. But I'm going to clean it all up and get it looking nice before I put it back in too. Okay, so I just got the rotor from the right side of the car off, and whenever I did, first of all, I got the brake pads off. If you look here, let me see if I can set these up here. Okay, I don't know how, should be able to tell pretty easy from the slot in the middle here. But look, the inside pad was wearing almost twice as fast. That slot right there, if they were wearing evenly, should be the same depth on both of them, and this one is about half as much as that one. The inside brake pad was wearing faster than the outside, and if you take a look here, this is the inside of the rotor. Look at the pitting. It's horrible. It's pitted horribly all the way around. Over here, just horribly pitted. So those pits were taking chunks out of the brake pad more quickly than the other side. If you flip it over and you see the other side, also pitted, but not nearly to the degree that the other side was. So if you see this on your rotors, get new rotors. So YouTube, thank you for coming and enjoying my videos. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. It gets traction. Just guys, live life, enjoy life, and I'll see you next time. Love you.